briefly in class, we touched upon the creation of Arpanet and the introduction of the World Wide Web. Something we never quite explored, but I find extremely interesting, is the introduction and adoption of electronic mail, or email. For example, did you know that Queen Elizabeth II sent the very first email in 1976? Or rather, the first email for British royalty. Actually, the honor goes to IBM engineer named Ray Tomlinson back in 1971. He developed a file transfer program named CopyNet and was later asked to integrate it with SendMessage, which was a tool to leave messages for users on the same time-sharing machine. By combining these systems, Tomlinson created a way to send messages between different computers over Arpanet. To test it, he sent what he later described as a forgettable string between two machines sitting side by side. He introduced the use of the @ symbol, for it had no purpose at the time, to separate the host name and port of the individual computer sending the message to, which has now become pretty much ubiquitously used for all emails today. And after creating it, shortly after, it was integrated into the Unix-based operating system. And here, this is a Linux screenshot from my own machine where I had used PNAP, a transferring protocol, to use the mail command to receive a text file. And in fact, I was actually able to open it and get it to work. It was just kind of some garbage, but it was very fun to kind of mess around with, and cool to see that it still indeed works today. But modern email looks radically different from this. However, back in the 1970s, this is what academics used to communicate with each other. Now, as Arpanet expanded through the 1970s, email became pretty popular as a use of Arpanet. In fact, by the mid-1970s, the majority of traffic was email-related, and less so file sharing and remote computing. Over time, it kind of moved from simple text messages to file transfer, and protocols such as the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol standardized how messages were sent across networks, allowing different systems to communicate reliably. By the 1980s and 1990s, email had kind of moved away from research institutions and more into the business and household space, and became one of the first widely adopted uses of the internet. And today, it remains a foundational communication tool alongside modern messaging platforms. And it's kind of interesting to see what became a small experiment to a global system used by people used daily. And frankly, that's pretty neat.